I wasn't quite sure what exactly I was going to be doing with this series at first, whether I would be picking and choosing or doing as much of a straight shot through the Bible's chronology as possible. I've since decided that as long as people enjoy them, I'll be attempting to respond to each children's Bible story in order all the way through the Bible, brought to us by Saddleback Kids. I started with creation, but going straight from creation to Noah skipped a few things, so I'll be retroactively adding those in now, starting with the beginning of the dreaded sin. Let's get right into it.
On the sixth day of creation, God formed man from the dust of the earth. He breathed the breath of life into his nostrils, and the man became a living person. God planted a garden in Eden and placed the man there. God ordered beautiful trees, and trees that bear fruit to grow up from the ground.
Okay, now this section we've already covered for the most part. However, this video now seems to have it backwards. This is saying that God created Adam and then made the garden for him, while the previous video and the Bible itself has it happening the other way around. Why the inconsistency? Could it be because so many Christians like to claim that the world is fine-tuned for humans, but that wouldn't make much sense if humans were, like in the actual story, more of an afterthought?
In the middle of the garden, he placed the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil.
Ah, yes. Here's something new. First of all, is it one tree that's both or two separate trees? Because I always thought it was supposed to be two trees, but this video seems to be showing one. Either way, why would God even bother putting these trees in the garden if he's supposedly omniscient and therefore knows that Adam and Eve, who surprisingly is yet to make an appearance, are eventually going to eat the fruit anyway? It's just utter incompetence. God is not responsible enough to have ultimate power. I think Spider-Man would have a few choice words for him.
He gave instructions to the man to tend to and watch over the garden. God told the man, "You may freely eat the fruit of every tree in the garden, except the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. If you eat the fruit of this tree, you will surely die."
So before Adam and Eve ate from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, super overcomplicated name by the way, were they immortal? If not, then this is a blatant lie from God, as Adam and Eve do not die upon eating the fruit. And if he's telling the truth, then the death he's referring to is an eventual death that they were safe from before eating the fruit, then what's the point of the tree of life?
Then God said, "It is not good for man to be alone. I will make a helper who is just right for him." God brought all the animals to the man to be named by the man. The man gave names to all the animals.
First off, how did Adam go about naming all these creatures? Did he just name the quote-unquote kinds? Is he the one I should be asking for a concrete definition? Second, having already done Noah's Ark early, I love that this video uses the exact same panda and the exact same tree in the background of this shot. Between that and the window debacle, I think an animator needs to be fired.
But still, there was no helper just right for him. So God caused the man to fall into a deep sleep. While he slept, God took out one of the man's ribs and closed up the opening. Then he made a woman from the rib, and he brought her to the man.
Why? He made Adam from the dust. Why does he have to rip part of Adam back out in order to make Eve? Is he still recovering from his omnipotent creation exhaustion? Also, yet again, what a lack of foresight to make two of everything except humans.
"At last," the man exclaimed, "this one is bone from my bone and flesh from my flesh. She will be called woman because she was taken from man."
Rather ironic, seeing as how every subsequent human came not from man, but from woman through childbirth.
This explains why a man leaves his father and mother and is joined to his wife, and the two are united into one. Now the man and his wife were both naked, but they felt no shame. One day, the serpent, the most clever of all the wild animals, asked the woman, "Did God really say you must not eat the fruit from any of the trees in the garden?"
So God deliberately created a creature more clever than humans in order to fuck with them. Charming.
"Of course we may," the woman replied. "It's only the fruit from the tree in the middle of the garden that we are not allowed to eat. God said, 'You must not eat it or even touch it. If you do, you will die."
So either God did say that they must not even touch the fruit, and that part just got conveniently left out, or Adam added that part when he told Eve about the fruit, leading to the world's first and apparently most problematic game of telephone ever played.
"You will not die," the serpent exclaimed. "God knows that your eyes will be opened as soon as you eat it."
So the one with the critical thinking skills becomes the enemy to the quote-unquote godly. Sounds about right. Maybe instead of ignoring logic altogether, religious people would do better to instead hold beliefs that are, even in the slightest, logically defensible.
"And you will be like God, knowing both good and evil."
So if they don't know good from evil now, what understanding is keeping them from eating the fruit? If they don't understand right from wrong, they should have just eaten the fruit by now, without any knowledge that they're doing anything wrong. Also, if that fruit gives the people the ability to discern good from evil, divine objective morality is out the window.
When the serpent was done speaking, the woman did eat the forbidden fruit and shared it with her husband. At that moment their eyes were opened.
And thus were born the first critical thinkers. You know, I'll bet if they never heard from God after this, they would have gradually stopped believing in him due to the lack of evidence.
They felt shame by their nakedness, so they sewed fig leaves together to cover themselves. That evening they heard God walking about in the garden, so they hid. God called to the man, "Where are you?"
You are omniscient, you condescending asshole.
The man replied, "I hid from you because I was naked." "Who told you that you were naked?"
You already know the answer, and exactly what his response to the question will be before even asking.
God asked. "Have you eaten from the tree whose fruit I commanded you not to eat?"
You omniscient, condescending fuck.
The man replied, "The woman gave it to me."
I only raped her because she was dressed provocatively. I can't be held responsible. Look at that. Biblical justification for that kind of horrible backwards reasoning that even Christians condemn when it's Muslims using it.
Then God asked the woman, "What have you done?"
Not only did you already know before you even created her, but you've even already had Adam tell you. You condescending...
"The serpent tricked me," she replied. Then God said to the serpent, "Because you have done this, you are cursed more than all animals. You will crawl on your belly as long as you live."
Okay, so if he's only just now being cursed to crawl, why was he only crawling before? Why didn't we get to see the Yonti serpent?
"I will put hatred and division between you and the woman. He will crush your head, and you will bruise his heel."
Okay, division between serpent and woman. Check. He will crush your head. Wait. He? Who is that? Aren't you talking to the serpent about Eve? And you will bruise his heel. Who is he? Wait a minute, had she, her pronouns not even been invented yet? Did everyone just go by he, him?
Brought her to the man. She will be called woman, the husband. God then said to the woman, "I will sharpen the pain of childbirth."
So God makes a creature that is clever enough to see through his bullshit and deceive the humans. Then, when that happens, he punishes the serpent that he specifically made capable of deceiving the humans and must have also instilled in it the will to do so. Then, after that, he also punishes the woman who God willingly made to get tricked by the serpent. How is God not the antagonist of this story again?
"And your husband will rule over you."
So because God willingly fucked over the woman that he made, she will be ruled over by man. Charming. Well, at least we see now why this sort of thing exists.
Hey, it's Kristen and Bethany here with Girl Defined Ministries, and in today's vlog, we're going to be sharing with you 8 reasons we aren't feminists.
To the man he said, "Since you listened to your wife and ate from the tree, the ground is cursed because of you. All of your life you will work hard to grow your own food until you die."
Because you trusted the woman, you will suffer. Yay, biblical misogyny.
"You were made from dust, and you will return to dust."
Well, now that sounds like the atheist perspective on death. Came from dust and will return to dust. I don't see any mention of heaven or hell here.
Adam then named his wife Eve.
Oh, so now Adam gets to name his wife just like he named all the other animals. How delightful.
And God made clothing from animal skins to cover their nakedness. God banished them from the Garden of Eden, and he sent Adam out to cultivate the ground from which he had been made.
So as I understand it, sin exists in the world because the omnipotent, omniscient, omnibenevolent God made two humans, doomed them to fail, and then got upset with them when they did. Sin exists because God basically decided that a perfect world didn't make for good entertainment. Anyway, that's all for this episode. Thank you all very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider giving it a like and sharing it on social media to help grow our little community. And as always, have a blessed day, fellow heathens.